What up, people? What's good? What's good? It's me, L Teddy 27. Again, Angry Teacher Chronicles, all of that good jazz. And I am back for my review for this light. I swear this light is blinding. My review for the ABC Limited Series for Life. This is episode 5. Now, someone put in my comments after last week's review that this isn't a limited series. I thought it was. Maybe it isn't. And maybe I'm confused. I don't know. But be that as it may, this is episode 5. Alright. So let's get started. So Aaron, remember, if you remember, there was this white guy, Henry Roswell, who's a former who worked for the I think the public defender's office or the DA. He worked for one of the offices, one of the government offices. Anyway, he's an attorney, and I remember he was suspended or disbarred or something like that for alcohol or whatever. Anyway, so what happens is he goes to meet with Aaron, and Aaron shows him all of the files that he got from the cop via Marie. So the guy tells him, listen, you can't go around there, pussyfooting around, with small, crumbs. You got to punch him, punch him, punch him in the mouth. So you got to have a slam dunk. So he was like, there's a case of one of the inmates here that I might could take that may help him out. And he's going to end up doing that because what happens is they're trying to show that they were doing crooked things and improper legal things with regard to Aaron's case and by showing a pattern that they've done in other cases. So the warden has started to question or meet up with COs with regard to the information she got from Aaron about COs being crooked and allowing drugs into the prison. So she interviews this one CO, Smith, and Smith ends up giving her a lot of information. Smith tells her Wild Bill's the distributor. Smith tells her that there's a captain involved, but they're not sure which captain of the COs that's involved. And all of this comes out through her questioning this CO. The CO says, I need to meet with my union rep and my shop steward, all of that stuff. And she's like, you could do that, but you know where this is going to go. You're going to end up getting fired. You're going to end up going to jail. And if a CO ends up in jail, that never ends well. And so I think he resigns. We don't see him no more. So then Aaron asks Hassan, remember, beard guy, to talk to this other inmate, this Hispanic guy, about taking on the case. And what happened in the Hispanic guy's case is he was in a lineup, and he was identified in a lineup, and that's how he ended up in jail. But the problem was the DA's office had the very same guy in a lineup 5 days before with with the same witness. So they had him in the lineup with other people one day, and then in the same week, they had him in the same lineup with the same witness, but with other inmates in the same week. So what happens is she sees that guy again, and, naturally, how, the brain works. She said, oh, that must be the guy because, it's bias. So, and that's going to help Aaron to prove, because that's illegal. You can't do that. And so by Aaron proving that this was a practice of theirs, this is showing, a pattern. So this is all supposedly helping him in his case. So, the Hispanic guy agrees to let Aaron help him. A little reluctantly at first, but he does. So then we see Marie and Darius. They go and talk to Jazz. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, after last week's episode, I have changed how I felt about Darius because if y'all remember, I was not fond of Darius. I really felt like Darius. I just didn't like Darius because the optics of you now with your best friend's ex-wife after he's in prison for all of these years. It just does. It still doesn't look right. But I'm not as I'm not. I don't dislike Darius as much as I did prior. I should say that. Anyway, they talk to Jazz. They tell Jazz that Marie was questioned by the DA, and they tell her a little bit about the fact that she had helped Aaron with some evidence. They have to tell her because they figure that the DA is at some point going to try to question Jazz. And they tell Jazz, listen, if somebody come and question you and ask you, you need to tell them, hey, I'm a minor and my mama ain't here, my lawyers ain't here, and I ain't telling you nothing. Period. So, but this worries Jazz, and you can see her in her face. She doesn't like this. She knows they've been keeping things from her, and she says, "What are you all not telling me? You're leaving something out." And they're like, "Oh, we've told you everything," and she's like, "She ain't buying it." So, we see Aaron in court. So now Aaron's in criminal court. And so Aaron presents this evidence about, the two lineups and everything. And the judge is like, listen, while I agree that they did this right. He said, I'm not going to let you turn this into some spectacle, not my courtroom, and you're going to have to find another way to get this in. And so Aaron says, well, I'll take it to civil court, and I'll get him deposed, and I'll get, the attorney, the assistant DA, or whatever their title is, but who works for the DA's office, the attorney worked for the DA's office, who did that case back then. I'll have him deposed and everything and so forth, and then that deposition can be used in criminal court. He was like, well, do what you got to do. So, but the DA, his name is Yamara. He's an Asian guy. His name is Yamara. He was caught completely off guard because he had met with Maskins and O'Reilly before that. And Maskins and O'Reilly, and he was kind of underestimating Aaron. And Maskins told him, listen, don't underestimate Aaron. He's better than you think he is. So Yamara was caught completely off guard. So when they came out the courtroom, Yamara goes to O'Reilly and says, well, listen, I only did this because you were my supervisor at the time, and you told me to make this go away, which is what I did, because you knew it was wrong back then. And so O'Reilly was like, I don't remember telling you that. And so O'Reilly was like, oh, really? That's how you feel? Let me go get my own attorney. So he know he's up the creek without a paddle. Marie, we next see O'Reilly goes up to Maskins, and O'Reilly says, listen, hey, hello, you over here running for Attorney General, but while I'm over here, yeah, you think he's just attacking you. Maskins, Aaron is now coming after me. And so now I'm being thrown under this bus with me. And later on in the episode, Maskins kind of tells O'Reilly, hey, buddy, you want to be DA? Because he's, the heir apparent to taking Maskins' job as DA if Maskins gets Attorney General. He's like, hello, you need to put your big boy pants on. And O'Reilly, you do, like, dude, you went down this wrong road. You got your hands dirty. And listen, let me help you understand something. I'll just say like this. I'm a part of organizations and agencies and stuff like that has a hierarchy and ranking, and I'm really high in some of those organizations. And I will be honest, I have had to get my hands dirty. I had to put my big boy pants on at some point and get my hands dirty. And sometimes you got to do some things that you ain't supposed to do in order to get where you need to get. Nobody has gotten to some of the highest positions that you can get to without getting their hands dirty. And I don't care who they are. And I don't care how, pure and chaste you think they are. Everyone, even the Obamas of the world, have done something that they probably shouldn't have in order to get as high as they are. It's kind of like, the old adage goes, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But that's just the truth of it. So That's what Maskins tells O'Reilly. Marie then is, we see Marie on the phone with Aaron, helping Aaron, giving Aaron some information about cases and stuff like that. And so she's at the piers. And so Darius comes to pick her up and she gets off the phone with Aaron. She tells Darius, oh, that was the doctor asking me about a situation at work. She's lying to Darius about, because remember, Darius went off on her and told her Aaron's going to send her down the path of destruction if she keep helping out Aaron. So she lies to Darius. We then find out, we see that, remember that fat white guy, balding captain from episode, I believe it is 3, that was the one who was real hard on the warden. Like, you could tell he doesn't like the warden. We find out he's the captain that's been smuggling the drugs in. Because what happened was the captain, not the warden had went and started this whole campaign of having dogs in there every day and having all of the sales checked, and like it's like she is really like turned up, the gas. She stepped on the gas with regard to trying to, get the drugs out of there. So when the captain rolls up to the prison with the drugs in his car, one of the other COs comes and says, listen, the block is high. You can't, no, not right now, because she got dogs and everything everywhere. And so he was like, shit, man, so we find out he had it. So he opens his trunk and they got this cooler with ice and there's steaks in there. He opens up one of the steak, like raw steaks, and starts taking the drugs out of it. The man was like, what you doing? What you doing? He was like, well, we got to sell these steaks at least. It was funny to me. But that's how they begin the drugs and smuggling it in the middle of meat. So, Jamal, remember the black guy who's Aaron's friend, who always has on a little skull cap? He comes up to Aaron and says, listen, Aaron, listen, you got people looking at you sideways because not everybody thinking you're a snitch because, the block is high, they check for drugs and all this stuff, and people saw, and Wild Bill is up there being questioned by the warden, and people know that you represented Joey Knox, which implicated Wild Bill, and not everybody think you snitched to the warden. He was like, listen, you got to clean up your reputation with everybody looking at you sideways, Aaron. So Aaron, so the warden meets with Wild Bill. She offers Wild Bill all of these things, a private cell, TV, his mom can come, and stuff like this, that, and the third, if he will agree to, and she'll let him do what he do, if he agrees to let her know who is involved in his distribution. He says, I'll think about it. Aaron goes in there to go to the warden, and Aaron says, listen, boo, you about to get me killed. No, I'm sorry, not killed. Killed did. It's a little more emphasis when you say killed did instead of killed. You're going to get me killed in here. He's like, listen, you need to lay off. If you want to catch them, let them put their guards down. Lay off. Let them think everything is normal. Let them go back to business as usual, and then you catch them. But right now, the block is too hot. They're not going to do nothing with all of this going on, and I'm going to end up getting killed because people think I'm a snitch. So he tells that to the warden. I don't blame him, honey. You got to protect your own. Just trying to tell you what I know. So next thing you know, Aaron is confronted by the Hispanic dude he's representing. Hispanic dude was like, now, I'm hearing you a snitch, and I'm not here for the fuck shit. Now, what you gonna do? Because I'm not here for this fuck shit. I need to know what's going on with my case. The people say you a snitch. Are you gonna snitch on me? What's going on? Because we find out that the Hispanic guy did commit the crime. He's guilty as sin. Problem is, the DA's office did not conduct their business the right way, which means that the guy who is guilty could end up getting off. And Aaron's kind of conflicted about that. So Aaron and the guy have this whole confrontation or whatever. I ain't scared of you. You need to be scared of me, so forth and so on. So the Aaron like, well, you need to pick a new attorney. He was like, no, hell no, you ain't gonna bail out on me now. Nope, you gonna take this case and you gonna get me the fuck out of here. Because the Hispanic guy kind of saw by the way the trial went that there's a very strong possibility that he could get out of jail. So he's all for it. Next thing we know, and the next thing we see is Jazz is at the prison. Jazz done went and hopped her butt on the bus and went all the way out to the prison, unbeknownst to her mom, unbeknownst to Aaron. She didn't tell nobody. And the problem is that she's a minor. Hello. So they had one of the, whenever there's a minor, there's somebody, I forgot, a liaison, or I forgot the name of the person that's supposed to be there, always in the room with a minor if their parents aren't there. And she's there. She was like, "Listen, I'll let you talk to her, Aaron, because we need you to talk to her, whatever. Since she came all the way out here, but I'm gonna call her mama and tell her mama she's up here, and have her mom waiting for her at the drop off spot." So Aaron talks to her. Basically, Jazz is trying to find out what the fuck is going on and why Aaron's involving her mom, and why they're keeping things from her. And so Aaron basically tells her, "Listen, your number one priority right now is your son that's growing in you and yourself. You don't need to be concerned about anybody else. You need to safeguard yourself from everybody." And she was like, "Even from you?" He was like, "Yes, even from me. Because you need to protect yourself even from me or anybody that's going to jeopardize your life and the life of your son." Which was good. I like that Aaron said that to him. Marie, while they're waiting for Jazz to come off the bus, ends up telling Darius that she's been helping Aaron. And Darius doesn't blow up like I thought he would. Darius was real cool about it. Darius is still, he's going up in my estimation how I feel about him, but I still can't, in the back of my mind, I still can't help but feel he had a part in Aaron, initially getting arrested. I don't know, y'all. I can't put my finger on what it is, but if I could, I would have to watch it. Anyway, at the deposition for Yamara, Aaron goes there. He said, "Can I go get dressed?" They were like, "No, you don't need to get dressed. Ain't gonna be no judge there. So there's no bias. It's just gonna be the attorneys and the recording and the stenographer and stuff like that." So Aaron basically undresses all of them. Aaron, is doing what Aaron does. Aaron is, masterfully putting his case out there, about how they were doing things improperly. Yamara ends up having to plead the fifth on multiple questions, which basically means I'm guilty, but I don't want to say I'm guilty. And so O'Reilly, after the deposition, O'Reilly knows they lost. O'Reilly goes up to Aaron and says, "Listen, I'm offering your client $100,000, which would keep him in jail, but at least he'll have $100,000 to work with. You got to offer that to your client." Because see, what O'Reilly knows is if the Hispanic guy gets off, that would implicate the entire DA's office, including him, because in the deposition it came out that Yamara was acting under orders from O'Reilly at the time, and everybody's being implicated, and that pointed straight to Maskins. So it's getting real dirty. So, and O'Reilly was like, "You gotta offer that to your client because Aaron wants this." But Aaron wants the Hispanic guy to get out. But if the Hispanic guy gets out, he's a horrible criminal because O'Reilly came in there showing all kinds of pictures of the victims of the Hispanic guy. He was like, if he gets out, this is what he's going to do. And Aaron's kind of conflicted. And so he was like, "But you got to offer this to your client." Because Aaron knows if the Hispanic guy gets out, that's a slam dunk for helping his case. And O'Reilly knows that too. So Aaron goes to the jail, offers the Hispanic guy the $100K. Hispanic guy says, "No, I got a chance to get out of here. Let me get out of here. You go." And so Aaron was like, "But you could no." The Hispanic guy, "Absolutely not. You do what you got to do to get me out of here." And Aaron kind of feels bad because he knows, damn, I am about to get him out of jail, and he is going to get out of jail and do nothing but commit more crimes. But if he's going to commit another crime, he's going to end up back in jail anyway. So I guess. Anyway, so Yamara ends up having to resign. O'Reilly finds out and goes to Maskins and says, "Is this the only way?" Maskins was like, "Well, if you want, you can, fall on the sword and lose your job." And so that's when Maskins tells O'Reilly, "Listen, you got to put on your big boy pants because this is about to get dirty and ugly real fast." The warden, we then see down to the prison. The warden is lifting some of the things, and she's lightening up the load, lightening up the load, and making it where the block isn't hot anymore, and making it where it's more so business as usual. She tells the CO, she meets with them, the COs and the captains, and she says, well, after my investigations, that all of my searching, it seems that we pretty much resolved the issue with the drugs. We relegated it to, small, little, minor little things. And so we can go to business as usual. Thank you all for your, service, this, that, and the third. Kind of making them feel like, okay, everything's back to business as usual, which is what Aaron wanted her to do. We'll see how this plays out in subsequent episodes. And then we see the Hispanic guy gets out. So Aaron went in there, defended him. This Hispanic guy goes free out of jail. You see him getting out. He chucks up the deuces at Aaron and them. And Aaron, while he's walking in the lineup outside, he looks back and he sees Hassan, who's the one who told him that the Hispanic guy told him that he was really guilty. And he feels bad. Even though this is going to help him with his own case, he knows he's put a hardened criminal back out there on the streets to hurt some other people. But it is what it is. That was the episode. I really like the series. I hope y'all like the series. I hope y'all like my reviews. Let's get down in the comment sections and let's discuss what you saw that may be different from what I saw. And until next week, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely.